Hello and welcome back to the NFT Fundamentals course. In the previous lesson, we discussed the history of NFTs and some of its application. Now in this lesson, we will see how the NFT works actually. So far you have learned that NFT stands for non-fungible token, and non-fungible token is an economic term that you could use to describe the things like your furniture, a song file or your computer. These things are not interchangeable for other items because they have unique properties. NFTs are different from ERC20 tokens such as DAI or Link in that each individual token is completely unique and is not divisible. NFTs gives the ability to assign or claim ownership of any unique piece of digital data trackable by using Ethereum's blockchain as a public ledger. An NFT is minted from digital objects as a representation of digital or non-digital assets. For example, an NFT could represent a digital art like GIFs, collectibles, real-world items like deeds to car, tickets to a real-world event. Also, we have seen that creating and managing of NFTs are done through the smart contracts that are developed with ERC standards. Some of the things you should consider are: an NFT can only have one owner at a time. Ownership is managed through the unique ID and metadata that no other token can replicate. NFTs are minted through smart contracts that assign ownership and manage the transferability of NFTs. When someone creates or mints an NFT, they execute code stored in the smart contracts that conform to different standards such as ERC721. This information is added to the blockchain where the NFT is being managed. Now let me explain this with an example. Suppose you have created a beautiful artwork like this and now you want to create its NFT. The first thing you will need is a smart contract which can hold this NFT. Let's assume you have one developed with you according to the ERC721 standards. Now one thing to consider is blockchain cannot store files like your artwork. It can only store the information. So how are we going to upload this file on the blockchain? Because we have seen without blockchain there is nothing like NFT. So you can upload this file to the storage system which is not centralized. One of the examples of such storage system is IPFS. So we have now uploaded this file on the storage and now you have the location address of this file. Now comes the metadata. You will have to create a JSON file holding all the metadata of this file like name, URL of the file pointing to the location and other things according to the standards. Again upload this JSON file to the storage and get the URL of this JSON file holding all the metadata. Now with the use of mint function, which is defined in the smart contract, you can create NFT for your artwork. We have already seen every token holds its own token ID, owner and metadata. Now let's visit the OpenSea and see one of the examples so that you will get the overall idea. So this is the OpenSea platform, which is basically a marketplace for NFT. You can find a dozen of NFT arts that are listed here. Let's search for Bored Ape collection since it's a very famous one. So this is the Bored Ape collection page and you can see the items that are listed in this collection. Let's see the first one in detail. As you can see, we have the token ID, the owner of this token, current price and chance to make an offer. Below the NFT, we have some of its details, out of which the first one is its properties. Let's say its metadata. And then the token information such as the token contract address, token ID, the blockchain, token standard and metadata state. Now remember, we have already discussed that for any NFT to be recognized, we need two things. First is smart contract and the second is its ID. Let's open the smart contract in the new tab and we are redirected to the Etherscan because that's where we find the deployed smart contracts. Here you can see all the transaction and contract details. Now let's click on the token ID. And now we are redirected to the IPFS site where the JSON file is stored. We have already discussed how this stack works, but let me remind you again. You cannot store the image on blockchain, so you upload it on IPFS storage, then copy its location and create another JSON file which contains the file location URL and some other metadata. Now again upload the JSON file on the IPFS and copy its location URL. Now the token ID and this JSON file, which includes the file location and metadata, are only stored on the blockchain using smart contracts. So now we have the JSON file containing the actual image location. Let's try to open this image in the browser and see if we can access that. That's it. So this is how the complete process works for an NFT. I think you might have a clearer idea of the technology stack behind the NFTs. That's all for this lesson. In the next lesson, we will discuss what are some other blockchains and NFT marketplaces and how are they different from the Ethereum.